Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Machinimaking podcast series where we talk about common tips, pitfalls, and guidelines on machinima making. On this episode, we'll be mainly discussing the pitfalls and issues of PlanetSide 2, and with some referencing to Halo, as it is a staple for machinimas. Alright, please enjoy. Alright, so we got the perspectives from two Halo machinima directors. Now let's get a perspective from one of the OG PlanetSide 2 machinima directors, MrKrucible.
You'll see, I'll get up there.
No, moist. Down.
So, what is it? Amateur issues?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I mean, we can go on scripting 101 and talk about, like, okay, someone's got their plot all fucked up. Like how you brought that up, Moist, and how you kind of brought that up, Indian. But
did you just call him Indian?
My bad. I'm like half asleep. I'm half asleep, but when I think about issues with amateur machinima, I don't think scripts. I think three main things: body actors, their sets, and the camera shots. Very specifically, just those three things. Because with machinima is literally machine cinema. You are using the video game engine to create a cinematic experience. That's actually why going back and looking at people like Digital Fear, for example, like you said, Moist, is a really great recommendation because they took that to heart. They were using it to create cinematic experiences and not to just drive down a story. If you don't know how to move your characters convincingly around to create proper shots and you're not using the sets to your advantage, you're going to have a really hard time conveying a proper tone with your machinima.
All right. So like,
yeah, I agree with that.
So like the issues that you find with PlanetSide 2 machinima directors, like new guys, it falls in line with what you'd find with Halo, right?
Specifically with PlanetSide 2, let's just take, for example, one of the three things, camera shots. Unless you get observer cam, it is very difficult to get, like, for example, shots of people running up a mountain. Your shots kind of look like crap. Not only that, but you have to run up and down the mountain constantly. And you're running against the timer because the day and night cycles are going through, and it will change your lighting of every single shot. So you only have, you not only have the issue of moving your camera around as yourself as the player if you don't have observer cam, you also have to fight against the time to keep the lighting similar. And what a lot of amateur machinima creators will do, at least when it comes down to PlanetSide, is they will keep the incorrect lighting. They will say, this shot's good enough. But sometimes some machinima, some scenes should not be shot because they just take up too much time to invest. Unless you are really set on a vision for your machinima and you want it to give a great cinematic experience to your audience, then I'd say find another way to replace that scene or replace that shot with something that would give you the same tone.
Like,
yeah.
Like going off of that, that was one thing that I had experiences with when I was starting, was just like getting those tracking shots, and I found like a lot of people, in terms of the basic way that you do it and it would fall apart, is you either try to do like a side tracking shot where you kind of run on the side while your guy is running forward, or you do the thing where you're in front of the person and the person's running towards you but you're also running backwards. But then all the time, like even if you use zoom scopes, look at the feet and all that, your like eventually your subject would zip past you or collide with you. So I found like actually there is an alternative to getting those shots, and that's like kind of like the tracking shot. I did that in Shadow's Redemption, where essentially you would just like position yourself behind your subject and just like match the speed, so you're essentially running with him, but you're behind him, and then when you turn off the HUD in the viewer model, you get to just see like the shoulders, and it looks like a smooth tracking shot. But yeah, like for the most part, it's definitely hard, but with proper management, I feel like you can still get the lighting and timing right, and you can also get some of the movement shots.
It's definitely a lot of work.
Yeah.
You don't have those issues in Halo, though. In comparison with Halo, you do not have those issues.
Well,
One of the issues, though, that you see with Halo Machinima more than cinematic shots is body acting and sets.
Yeah.
Some people don't put enough work into using Forge to the fullest, and they just make really crappy maps. You know, I totally understand if someone's using the default like multiplayer maps, if this point of their scene is to be like, okay, this is like a pre-game lobby sort of Machinima deal. Have any of you guys watched that Machinima series, pre-game lobby?
Yes.
But like pre-game lobby, those that using multiplayer maps for a Machinima like that, where your game takes place in matchmaking, that makes sense. But if you're running a drama or like a cop series, you probably want to use Forge to your fullest advantage and like make a city or make some rooms, Otherwise, your set looks pretty bland. I mean, you can still get away if you're like running a comedy and you just need a place for two people to sit down. Sure, whatever, that's good. But even then, when it comes down to drama or comedy, you have the issue with body actors. It doesn't matter really what game you have, if it's even Insurgency, PlanetSide, Halo, body acting is a really big issue for amateurs because as a director, as a Machinima director, you have to be able to instruct and to maybe even teach people how to do proper body acting so they can convey emotion properly. I mean, sometimes you don't need body acting, but body acting is really necessary because you can't you can't like mold the face or animate the face in Machinima unless you're using Source Filmmaker, So you have to use everything to your advantage, and that even goes into music as well. You need to use the music, the set, the body acting. You need to use everything you possibly can to make Machinima great, because you can't like have an actor carry your movie through. Like you can't. This isn't live. This is a video game. So you have to back your film up in every other aspect, even script writing, which a lot of people fail on, but you can still see some promise in that. But even with all these shortcomings of amateurs, although there's a lot of shortcomings, if there was like a set way of like, hey, if you want your character to look sad, have him mimic what someone sad would do. They'd bob their head slowly down, or if someone was really happy, you have them jump. How many Machinimas do you see where someone's like really happy and they don't jump? Like,
well, it might also.
I mean, it's a little different in Halo because like they jump like 6 feet,
But in PlanetSide, it isn't that
You
noticeable.
barely jump a few
But also,
inches.
if you're going for a drama, like start jumping out of nowhere, that kind of be unfitting.
Yeah, and even in dramas, you can use head bobs to your advantage. You can use short, very sharp bobs. But what I mean by sharp, I mean like within like half a second, you have a very small up and down movement, like a nod yes, like a very affirmative. Or you can even use body language like thrusting your character and getting, like you have two characters, let's say, and they're arguing, and one wants to escalate action. So what you do is you tell one actor to run in front of the other actor and stop right in front of their face. That will create tension, because what do you see in movies when people are in really deep shit with each other and really fucking mad at each other? They get in each other's faces. So
Yeah.
so you have to use body actors as if they were real actors, and you have to. I mean, and if you want to make sure that people know that they're mad, you match that up with the music, and you match that up with the voice acting. So there's a lot you got to think of as someone who's new to machinima. You have to be very passionate about it, and there's a lot of intricate details that go into it. It's not something you learn like instantly. You take the time to see what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and you look at your number one weakness. Okay, my number one weakness is I haven't been able to convey body acting properly. I haven't been able to set up the right music. I haven't been able to get the right voice actors. And you work on that. There's so much you can do when it comes down to machinima because it's essentially free. So really, if you want to get into film, practice with machinima, and you'll learn all the details. So then, if you do really want to get into like an actual film position, you can use the knowledge that you've used in machinima to like show off your know-how.
I can definitely vouch for that. I used Machinima as part of my application and to a film program at NYU, so I can vouch.
Really, Machinima can be used as like training wheels for actually learning how to properly use Machinima and how to direct, especially how to direct. Because in gaming communities, you have people who are your friends and they're totally down to help you. Now, how this relates to like how you can make better machinima, you really utilize your friends. Your friends are totally willing to help you. And if you have friends who are really, really interested in like also helping you and helping you get the best out of life and helping you get the best out of your skills, then ask them for help and ask them for criticism if they have some sort of expertise in what you're trying to do.